Hi everyone, my name is May. My topic for the classical argument essay is going to concern climate change and evaluation and effectiveness of government response. So to start my essay, I kind of needed to just get a basic overview of the causes, effects, and solutions to climate change, which led me to this source by John T. Hardy. It was published in July 2003, so it's kind of dated now, but it provides a really good framework for the scientific theory and effects of climate change. So let's get started. This is the MLA citation for this book. So there's the author's name. The title of the book is in italics. The publication city is listed just because there are a number of publication sites by this particular company. As I stated before, the source was published in July 2003, which kind of does make it a little dated, especially for a scientific piece. So I'll just provide a quick summary of that next. Here's my summary. John T. Hardy's Climate Change, Causes, Effects, and Solutions, published in July 2003, addresses evidence and consequences of climate change. Hardy begins by defining climate change and providing a brief history of observed and recorded climate change, elaborating greatly on the most recent evidence observed, such as sea level rising, rise in atmospheric temperatures, changes in ocean circulation patterns, negative effects on animal populations and vegetation, and unpredictability in weather patterns. Hardy also explores the human dimensions of climate change, noting the negative effects of climate change on human settlements, infrastructure, and health. Hardy ends the text with mitigation strategies, which include enhancing carbon sinks, reducing global warming using geoengineering, and sequestration of carbon emissions. This summary is a little bit long, especially for a PowerPoint. However, I felt like I was doing a disservice to the source by not noting everything that I was planning on using. It is a book that has 181 some odd pages that I'll be using as source material, so I just wanted to note everything that I found important from the text. So in relation to my other sources, like I stated before, this book kind of serves as a mainframe for the rest of my essay, but especially the very beginning of my essay, which will be kind of introducing the scientific theory behind climate change, especially how the planet is warming and kind of like scenarios that could happen. So first I want to point towards the causes. So I found more sources that kind of explore more reasons, like I said, more sources that explore the effects, and more sources that explore the solutions. These are kind of all updated sources that are published within the last 5 years, which is important for a scientific text. The primary information I am going to take from this book is going to be just kind of the definitions and recent climate change data. It's all kind of put into one place in a very easily accessible document. I did find this book online, the full text almost, basically everything that I'm going to need. After researching the publication and the author, I found it to be a very reliable text despite its publication date in 2003. It doesn't even have the more updated information. But so this is the information I'm going to take from the book. Mostly the definition of the greenhouse effect, what greenhouse gases are, and how those greenhouse gases contribute to a large-scale heat redistribution that's going to ultimately raise our atmospheric temperature and affect ocean patterns and therefore weather patterns, as well as sea level rise. I think also important to note is the impact on humans. He actually, in the text, really only talks about what could be some effects. And since this is published, we've had a number of extreme climatic events that he hadn't even expected, such as Hurricane Katrina or Hurricane Sandy. Also, there have been record years of heat. 2016 and 2017 had record global heat temperatures, and that caused a lot of problems with heat stress, like he actually predicted. So I think his work is a great starting point, and that's why I chose to summarize it for this PowerPoint. In conclusion, this assignment was useful in helping to isolate key information from a relatively large amount of information within the text. So that just means, like, I took 181 pages and was able to just kind of summarize each of those main points with like 1 or 2 sentences. Another thing that was useful was being able to analyze the source in context to the whole paper. So this was kind of one of the first sources I found, and I used it as a jumping off point, like I said. But it also helps to use this as like the bare bones, and then to kind of put the meat on with other more recent texts and more primary sources that kind of analyze the most up-to-date information from 2016 and 2017. Especially the EPA actually released more updated information. And as I said before, it does serve as a guideline to the rest of my argument. Did I answer all the questions? Yes, I really like this topic because I feel like it's one of the most important topics for our generation, for kind of like everybody's generation. Climate scientists are reporting that we have some odd 13 years left before the Earth becomes uninhabitable. So there's obviously measures that need to be taken. I mostly have questions about how to best integrate this incredible amount of information. It is a lot of data, and the topic I'm trying to do ultimately concerns, like, what's the action we're going to take? Like, why hasn't the government acted sooner? What are the what are the ways that we can reverse this? So now that we have all the data, and now that we can we agree on climate change happening at a very quick rate, and happening somewhere, like, at some point going to be irreversible. Anyway, so in conclusion, I also would just like to say this was a really interesting research process because there is so much information. It's just like very difficult to kind of put it into a concise essay. So that would be my question to ask at the end, I guess. So thanks so much for your time. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you have any questions for me, just let me know, and have a great day.